Miles, you rat bastard, I trusted you. This episode of Engage Kiss, man, Shu's life, pure pain. Been pure pain ever since, like, the third episode, and we realized, like, what was going on with his memories. But to see it all crumble in this episode, not only literally kill someone who fully was believing in your vengeance and wanted to aid you 100%, the man you get reunited with, Miles, I mean, he was basically like a father figure. And in hindsight, it's obvious, but for me personally, watching the episode, trying to figure out who the traitor is, right? You know, someone both getting you to kill said creature, but also seemingly responsible for making said creature, right? For me, I was actually more leaning on his father. And the reason why I was thinking that was, yes, apparently he died, but based on the fact that the sister's seemingly still out there, I mean, a lot of people have been speculating that the sister might be the final threat that they'll have to deal with, which would make a lot of sense. But I thought to myself, what if, you know, the rumors and what they were spreading was actually right about his dad? What if his dad actually was, you know, doing some shady shit? What if he faked his death? And I started speculating. There's all these moments where you wouldn't hear what the characters said, or characters would look at something as if they recognized the person. And I was like, damn. It really is gonna be the dad. And then the funeral happened, right? And I was like, oh man, it ain't the dad, is it? And then you see the car drive up and only Shu gets in. And I was crushed. I was absolutely devastated because for someone who seemed to have Shu's best intentions in mind, I feel like had Shu not said, that's the reason you killed him, most likely that car ride wouldn't have turned dangerous. More so, it felt more like a warning of like, stop before you get hurt. Almost like, if you dig too deep, I'll have no choice but to kill you. And then the call out. I need episode 9. I need it more than probably any episode of Engage Kiss to date, because that is a painful cliffhanger. Shu has barely anything left that keeps him who he is. I think it was in last week's episode, they say like 2 or 3 more times max is how much Kisara can transform. Meaning that he has barely any memories left in order to be drained to power her up. The dude is almost a walking vegetable. There's a moment in this episode where Miles kind of like pats him on the back saying, aren't you too young to be, you know, having amnesia or kind of like, you know, Alzheimer's, kind of forgetting about who you are. Because, you know, he's trying to cheer him up because he can't remember the smallest thing. And even in the moment when, you know, Best Nun is kind of chained up, she's basically saying like, this girl's killing you. This information that you're basically asking, you to already know that, but of course she would strip that memory away because it was pillow talk. She's not going to let you keep anything that isn't related to her, and he's trying to, you know, debate that with saying, no, she's letting me keep my memories of my family, and like, it's true, like, she's killing him. It's not to say that she doesn't have feelings for Shu, and Shu clearly has some feelings for her. The issue is that she's stripping everything away, and it's being presented as, oh, we're keeping the things that you agreed on, but as it's said, literally memories are connected, ripping away one, and even if he agreed to it, the way she's going about which memories are being removed first, she's taking away every emotional connection and leaving only her for the last so that she can walk in the sunset with him hopefully someday. And it's just pure pain. The dude essentially has nothing. The emotional and romantic connections he's had in the past are essentially removed. To him, someone like Aino is just a acquaintance and someone who gets mad at him for reasons he doesn't understand. Kisara is a memory-sucking succubus who literally is killing him inside and out. You have an ex that you kind of seem more like a friends with benefits with in terms of the sexy nun, but all things considered, I mean, that was just, you know, you had to make some sacrifices. She was going to kill you anyway, so you can kind of split that up to being neutral. And the family and acquaintances that you have that are seemingly believing in you have now died or betrayed you. There is basically nothing left for this guy, and what is left, he has no real connection to on his side because he doesn't remember it. And what he does remember almost feels superficial because everything else has been stripped away, so all he has is a very narrow view of what should be a more complex situation. Insane episode. It honestly feels like I've watched the show longer than 8 episodes. I have to be honest. I feel like we've been through more of a roller coaster ride than I think any of us were probably expecting. But this was a crazy episode. Something that I assumed would be slower. To have someone who's been this, like, person of interest, masked up, cloak, you knew it wasn't going to be like the big bad, but I had a feeling it wasn't all they appeared to be. Wasn't expecting Mr. F-Boy over here, who was very like, ooh, you know, Kisara is my love, and, you know, very flamboyant. I was like, This dude, like, needs to get slapped in the head. Wasn't expecting pistol whipping, but I wasn't complaining. But it's interesting to see, it's kind of funny because for him, he was putting on a popular act. No one thought he was popular. They just thought he was a rich bastard's kid. But I love the fact that he's actually more than meets the eye, and it made him a way more interesting character. Because truthfully, I didn't really see the need of having someone like that who wasn't going to be that important for the story in general, but since he only seemingly appeared for like one episode, I was like, yeah, whatever, it's anime. Sometimes he had those extreme personalities for no reason other than to have him on screen. But I appreciate the fact that there was a more interesting connection in terms of the surveillance. Yes, there's some questionable imagery with, why is it wrong to spy on my family? We're family, there should be no secrets. I don't think there's like a sexual thing with those remarks, but the way he goes about so nonchalantly spying in the way that he did definitely made me raise an eyebrow. But I will say they made a character who I thought was an absolute asshole, annoying nothingness into a more interesting, important part to the plot, even if I still think he deserves to be pistol whipped more than once. But like I said, this was a painful episode. It had a pretty fun action scene, that chase sequence, in terms of Kisar like popping up, him drawing the gun, just the camera movement looked amazing, and I thought to myself, there's no way it's going to end this episode in any way explosive in terms of revealing a traitor or killing someone, right? And once the killing happened, I thought to myself, that's part of the reason we like this show. It doesn't hide away that the main character has had sex. It doesn't hide away from the fact that characters die, right? This is a show that on paper and at face value, you would think would shy away from committing to either of those because, it's anime, right? Typically, it just doesn't show that type of subject matter. And for something that has a very typical bright aesthetic and character design choice, it just seems like it's not that mature of a show. But all things considered, this has a pretty mature plot with a lot of fun anime elements that kind of back it in the day-to-day activities. But from Shu's tragic memory loss and the reason he goes about and being presented as such a horrible person, but really is just a selfless guy trying to avenge his family and is losing everything in the process, it's a big reason why Aino no longer is upset. Yes, she gets upset in this episode thinking that, when she walks in saying like, oh, she's a demon or she's working with the demon. Definitely some misunderstandings, but in terms of hating him or thinking like he's an asshole for forgetting, she no longer does that because she sees the true culprit, and that being Kisara for taking those memories. She understands why he's doing it because ultimately this is all that matters to him, and you can understand why he got to that thought process. But to just see like the way they go about presenting so many things, like this show should be way more cliche than it turned out to be, and I truly think so many people are going to, after this season's done, sleep on Engage Kiss not knowing the gem that they might be skipping out on, because I really think this is one of the top tier shows of the season, and I never would have said that after the first couple of episodes. I would have said it's a very fun watch, but no way in hell would I say it's among some of the best of the season. But truthfully, with the way the story and characters have been developing, the plot twist, the emotional pain, and, the fun stuff that I like about anime all mixed up into one, it's hard not to rate this one a pretty damn amazing show at this point in time, with still another third left to go in this core. All I can hope is that this man doesn't have to lose anything else, but given the fact that I think at the very least he'll probably have to kill his sister in demon form, I doubt the pain's over just yet, but I guess time will tell. Thoughts and theories and reactions down below. Miles, man, you bastard, I trusted you, but thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. So next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.